it up. Very good. Well, doesn't matter. It's too late. I'm gonna cut it now. Shut down the music, Timmy. Enough with the music nonsense. We're here.
We got Norfolk. We got the
business.
We got the New York City hipster, and we got the coolest guy in the community, Norfolk. How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, Tim.
By the way, I just want to thank you for putting me on fasting, encouraging me to keep going, pushing it further. So
Absolutely.
I haven't felt better in my life. So
good.
Drinking some green tea right now.
Do you encourage a 7-day fast? I mean, I think that's a little bit too long.
He did 21-day fast. That's nothing. That's for kids. 7 days.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Babies do 7-day fast.
I do like a 2-day fast, and that's about it. But okay. All right. Okay.
All right, Tim. So thank you, obviously, for doing this stream, even though it was your idea. Because every time I have come on your show, I think the last time I came on your show, I was showing some watches, and then I showed my compass collection. Right? And actually, today's when my grandfather passed away in '94, March 4th. And he's the one that gave me one of those compasses. And he explained to me how it worked. And I remember in 1994 being sent to the principal's office because having an argument about how the compass worked. Also, why would Australia be upside down? This is how far this goes back for me. So that's why I thought when this keeps getting mentioned in the chat, people, you could talk about anything. You could talk about wizards. You could talk about leprechauns. The moment you bring up flat earth, people fucking lose it. So I thought to reach out to the best possible person I could think of, and that's Dave Weiss, also known as Flat Earth Dave. He's in the chat. He should be joining us very soon. And with what I know and what his visuals can do, maybe we could, everyone in the chat can finally learn something, maybe wake up, you know? Yes.
Let's bring on Flat Earth Dave. Hello, Dave. Welcome to the live stream.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Fantastic. I have one of your fans who's a fan of my show. We were talking about doing something like this for a while, and nice to meet you.
Hey, same here. You know, we all have, every flat earther has the same story. We thought it was the dumbest thing ever. We ridiculed the people that mentioned it to us. We refused to look at any evidence. But then something in some of us made us look. And for me, it was Sophia Smallstorm, another researcher, who made me look. I said, okay, I didn't look with an open mind. I looked with the purpose of debunking flat earth because it's the dumbest crap ever, right? And I went in with a bad attitude, and here I am, Flat Earth Dave. I have my own business. Everything was great. American dream. I walked away from it all to spread this message. Why? What difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday, is what people say. But when you understand what difference it makes all the difference in the world.
So that was the first time where you heard the term flat Earth, and your first time your reaction was you didn't believe it.
Well, yeah, I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and it was a very viral podcast out of New York City, and people started sending, we were looking into all the conspiracies, and people started sending me flat earth stuff, and I just said, all right, you're too stupid to listen to our podcast, you're banned for life. And I just banned people from our chat, from our Facebook, from our Instagram, from everything, because flat earth, come on, really? How stupid. We all know. And here's the thing. When were you taught about the flat earth, about the globe? When you were 5, right? Or even before. So our minds work like this, where our mind has a subconscious memory bank, right? And then it has our conscious screen. As a child, that conscious screen has massive holes in it, right? And anybody of authority, like a teacher, whatever they tell you goes right in as truth. So they tell you the earth is a globe, and then your life experiences, every movie, newscast, everything you see, Sesame Street, they got astronauts on there. It all turns into a web based on a lie. And then when somebody says the earth, as an older person, when somebody says the earth is flat, you immediately become a 5-year-old trying to defend it. So, Tim, you've been looking into this a little bit, right? And you think the Earth is a globe, correct? Or you're not sure?
That's right. So far, I believe that the Earth is a globe.
Dave, I've watched a lot of your stuff. I'm
But
sorry, Tim. I didn't cut you off.
yeah,
I've
but
watched
look,
a lot of your stuff, and people don't. They want to defend it always.
I
They
understand.
don't know anything.
I was that person. So, Tim, let me ask you a question.
okay.
Have you ever been to Tasmania?
Never been to Tasmania.
Do you know anything about Tasmania?
No,
I have
Okay.
not been to. I have not been to Tasmania.
All right, I'm making a point here. So, Tim, you and I are going to debate what is a better place to vacation: Cancun, Mexico, or Tasmania. You take the Tasmania side. I'm going to take the Cancun side. Are you ready to debate? We're going to make our best pitch forward, and we're going to convince everybody that the place that we're defending is the best. Are you ready? You have to defend Tasmania.
Okay, but I've never been to Tasmania.
So you don't know anything about Tasmania.
No, I just know it's like on the off the coast of Australia.
What's the radius of the globe?
Oof,
I know.
What is the circumference of the globe?
I could look it up.
How
but,
fast is the globe
Can
spinning?
I answer
at
it,
the
Dave?
No, you can't. How fast is the globe spinning at the equator?
Okay, I don't know.
How far is it from the sun? How did they figure out how far it is from the sun? How wide is the sun? How fast is the sun moving? I can go on and on and on, and you can't answer a single question. So why do you believe the Earth is a globe when you don't even know your own model?
Well, look, I don't have it in the back of my head, but the reason I don't keep that kind of information,
it's because you've already determined that it's truth. That it's truth,
right? Because I think I could just Google it if I need it.
You could Google it. So, do you believe in the government? I was looking at your channel. It doesn't look like you really trust the government very much.
No, I don't.
All right. So why would they not lie to you about where you live, who you are, what this place is? Why would they not lie? Is NASA the only government agency that doesn't lie?
No. I'm not saying that they're not lying. I do believe that the government lies about all kinds of stuff. Because,
everything.
They've got to know. But like for me, I think the reason the government lies is because the special interest that it's actually working on behalf of. So it would lie about certain stuff, but some of the information it wouldn't lie about.
Is Tim's voice cutting in and out, or is it just me?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, your voice is cutting in and out a little.
You maybe get hotter on your mic. I'm not sure. So while you're adjusting your mic,
is that better? Let me know. Is it?
Yeah, it's
cleaner now.
It seems good. It seems good. So, if you don't know where you live or what this place is or what options there are, that is a huge disadvantage. If you don't know your true power, that is a huge disadvantage. You will agree that the governments or the elite class or whatever they want to call themselves, they want to control us. So how do they control us? They literally limit what we understand to be truth, and they limit our imagination. Your imagination creates your reality. What you dream of becomes your reality. And if they put you on a ball like Truman in the Truman Show, there's nothing else to explore. There's nothing else, right? So the ball is a place of fear and lack, and it's a prison for your mind. So if they put you in that prison, they can convince you that breathing on grandma will kill her, right? They can convince you of anything. They can normalize anything. Imagine 10 years ago if I said, some of our leaders like to eat children, right? You would have freaked out, but now people are making jokes about it. They've normalized it, right? And that's because people are disconnected from who they truly are, what this place really is, who they really are, because of this incredible program. And there was a Russian Nazi guy, I forget his name, and he said, give me a child before the age of 7, and I will literally control that kid's mind for the rest of his life. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. And that's because you can fit huge beliefs right into their subconscious without them being able to screen it out. If I told you I was the president of the United States, you'd immediately store that as false information, no need to verify, because of your life experience. But if you were a 5-year-old and I came in a suit and tie and your teacher introduced me, Dave used to be president of the United States, you're going to store that as truthful information. And if over time, all the movies that you see and the shows, they mention Dave Weiss, and you open up a book and you saw a picture of Dave Weiss as president, you're going to believe it because the Rockefellers put it in a textbook, therefore it must be true. Right? Okay. That's how they mind control us. So let's play a game.
Okay.
because we can play the game. How does this work on a flat Earth? I'm happy to answer all of that stuff,
Well,
right? And go ahead.
before we even get there, I just wanted to just ask you one question before we
Sure.
dive into this stuff. Like before the flat Earth, did you have other belief shifts like politics, religion, health, anything else?
Yeah. So in my corporate life, my buddy Tim and I, we're kind of truth, you can call us conspiracy theorists, but the better word is critical thinker. And we were looking into what money is and what the Federal Reserve really was and what the IRS really was. And at lunchtime, we'd be talking about it in the lunchroom. And over time, more and more people started gathering around. And then one day, Tim calls me and says, "Hey, Dave, we have an opportunity there's a new podcast studio going above Stand Up New York Comedy Club. And we can do it as long as we can be the truth tellers, as long as we have a comedy element in it. And we'll have Mike, the comedian, try to turn everything into a fart joke." I'm like, "That sounds cool. Let's do it." And the podcast went super viral, and we're looking into, I'll be careful here on YouTube, the thing that happened after September 10th, the thing that happened at the marathon in Boston, the thing that happened at the school in Connecticut that has a beachy name to it, and all these other things. And we were deconstructing all of them in a huge way. And that's
Jim Carrey's.
Yeah, well, that one's freaking me out a little bit. But Jim Carrey was saying some stuff that they didn't want heard said. So did they replace him? Is it a clone? Is it a copy? Is it a lookalike or a not?
They found a video. They found a video from a couple years ago where he explains that he uses body doubles all the time.
Yeah, and also he basically, the last thing I saw him at was, I think it was the Emmys or something, and he goes, "I just wanted to do something that was completely useless and stupid, and that's why I'm here on the red carpet." And they don't want that. They want us, worshiping the stars, and that there's no coincidence that Hollywood actors are called stars, and we have the stars in the sky. There is a correlation, but these are deeper thoughts, deeper things to get into. But I'd like to ask you. You can go anywhere you want with this, but if you believe in
I just
go
have
ahead.
a few questions here.
Go ahead. You have me questions first. Whatever you want.
Yeah,
whatever you want.
I just wanted to get my audience kind of a feel of how to understand how your beliefs formed, and that's why I wanted to know. Okay, so you started the podcast. Was this a slow change, or did you suddenly convert to flat Earth?
As I was saying a little bit before, I was busy banning people from our social media for months on end just for suggesting I look into flat Earth. And then my friend Sophia, she's like, "Dave, you got to look at this." She sent me a couple of videos. And listen, don't believe anything I say. Don't believe a video on YouTube. Use it as a reference point and then go verify yourself. And so I watched these videos. I'm like, I never really thought of it that way. And let me do a little more research. Back in 2014, when this happened, YouTube was really good. Their algorithm, "Oh, you like that? Here, this person just uploaded a similar video." And I start watching these videos with the purpose of debunking them. And after about 2 weeks of no sleep, I came out and I'm like, the Earth is not a globe. Now, having a big podcast, I was like, I don't want to mention this on my podcast because we're going to lose all our listeners. Right. And that was the first thought that went through my mind. That lasted 2 days or a week or whatever. And I was like, you know what? This is the truth. I got to talk. I got to bring it up. And we entered it into the podcast. Podcast lasted another year. Finally, the co-host couldn't handle it. And we shut that down. And I started up another podcast called The Flat Earth Podcast. It was the only podcast about flat Earth at the time. And wow, that did amazingly well. And here I am, Flat Earth Dave, talking to you because it matters.
And how long have you been doing Flat Earth Dave? A couple years?
2014.
Oh, a long time. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. And I still am not giving away the Bitcoins because there is no scientific globe proof. The globe has equations. It has math. It has speculations. It has theories, but it has no scientific proof. Now, the flat Earth has tons of proof. Flat Earthers also know that we don't know certain things. Globers think they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I like to think that I know very little. That's why, I've been doing this show for 5 years. And in my experience, I've come to meet all kinds of very interesting individuals. And I thought, you know what, this is
Dude, we've had arguments in this chat
Yeah.
with me. I have fought with people, Dave, in this chat.
Is there an
But they
ending?
don't know. I'm sorry, Tim. They don't know anything. Go ahead and ask me those questions.
And
what's the
that's,
circumference? I know it all. These guys, they don't care. They don't care enough
I know.
to figure
Here's
it
the
out.
thing, Tim. If you knew the globe model, really knew it, you'd be a flat earther.
Absolutely.
Is there an ending though? Do you fall off the Earth like they thought? Like in
so that's what they want you to believe when you. I'm just going on my app here. I'm just going to type in. I'm just going to type in map. All right. So they want you to believe that the flat Earth is a disk in space. It's not. Look at this. If we're looking down at the Earth here, we got South America, America, Australia. This could be all of Antarctica. Antarctica looks bigger than the rest of the world combined. Right? That's interesting. This is where we live. This yellow line, this pink line represents 60 degrees south, and every country in the world agrees that there is no independent exploration outside of this line, right? So how does that look like a ball? What they do is they cut it out, and they wrap it around a ball, and they say nobody can explore this white area. They'll take you to this little tip here to an island called Rothschild Island or Deception Island, and that's it. But no one crosses Antarctica because it's not a continent. It is the outer perimeter of our world, right? What if the world, and again, this is speculation. We don't know what's beyond 60 degrees south. There's no need to speculate, but I love speculating. Here we are. What if, Tim, this is Antarctica, and there's more land out here, more land, extra territory, or extra terra for short. Let me ask you a question. If somebody lived out here in this space on the extra terra and they came to visit you in here, what might you call them?
Extraterrestrial.
From where?
I call them aliens.
The outer space.
From the outer space, okay.
Yeah, right here on flat Earth, right? Outer space is so ridiculous. Bring us back. Is so ridiculous that your mind melts when you understand what outer space is. Come back on screen so I can see you guys. Okay. There you are. Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So when you say flat Earth, you think it's a disk, but do you think there is an outer space? Do you think there is other planets? How does that model work?
So again, we don't know what's beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. If you look at all of the average heights of every continent,
so there's an ice wall that you think that's like Antarctica is the ice wall that because the way
all water needs a containment. So
let me answer that for you. Let me answer that for you. So the average elevation of every continent on Earth is charted, and Antarctica is twice as high as number 2. So when they get to Antarctica, it is higher. It's like 200 feet higher than the water. So what is that? What does that mean? I don't know. Does it go all the way around? Maybe. We don't know. I mean, there are probably some areas that have a lower ice wall, but if you look, there seems to be an ice wall there. Now, is it a wall, or is it just like the cliffs of Dover? It's just a high plateau next to the ocean. So again, we don't know what's out there. They tell us these are all of the Antarctic bases, all of these red dots. But in reality, it's like this. They're all along the shoreline of our world pond. So the question is, what's out here? Out here? What's beyond there? And we don't know.
Okay, very interesting.
Average elevation, Antarctica.
Okay. So you think the planet then so it's not a planet, so is it like a plane of existence? You think the Earth goes on for is it like much further out, or how would that work?
So again, when we look up at the sky, Globers love looking up at the sky because we don't know what the sky is. We don't know what stars are. Stars violate natural law. We can talk about that in a moment. But we live in a double toroid, and it has this energy. So we kind of live in a sphere. We live on this plane of inertia right here, which is the most physical place. All the luminaries are circling around on these magnetic fields above us, and they make these patterns. They make these cymatic patterns.
I'm sorry, Dave. Is that a
Good.
picture of a magnet?
No, that is a toroidal field.
Is that like the magnetic field that we
Yeah,
experience
the magnetic
where
fields
we have
that we see.
uh-huh.
So now, what were you taught in school? All the planets and the Earth
in
circle
the
the
solar?
sun in
Yep,
our solar system. They all go around the sun, right?
right.
And what is our North Star? Why is North Star a special star? Do you know?
Because it points directly to north, like it's
Because our
located.
axis of rotation, if you take the ball and you extend the axis out, it points right to the North Star. So
Right.
it's just a random star that's at our point of our axis of rotation.
I find it to be a weird coincidence, though, right? Don't you
Yeah,
think? Yeah.
absolutely.
How is
Well,
that? How does that work? That just
yeah,
we're here, one in a billion stars, yet we have a star that points directly, and it's the most visible star
And
in
it
the
well,
doesn't
sky,
move.
it's not the
and it
brightest.
doesn't
It's
move.
hold on. It's not the brightest
How
star
does
in
that
the.
work?
It's not the brightest star, but that star would not be important to any other planet because they're tilted at different angles. Like so if other people lived on other planets, if there was other planets. But here's the problem: all luminaries, all the stars, all the planets, and the Juno is an asteroid. They all circle Polaris. There's no explanation in the heliocentric model for that. They all do their cymatic patterns around Polaris. Everything circles Polaris.
So the explanation is that it's a coincidence, right? That's the
I don't even think
thing,
that.
the
I don't even think they
technical thing.
have that explanation. It's absolutely stupid. All right? If NASA showed you these pictures and said, "Hey, we found some new planets," you'd be like, "That's pretty cool, right?"
Well, they are finding new planets, right? Like a couple of years ago, they
Yeah,
found like a new planet somewhere on the outskirts, but then they said, "Oh, well, it's very small."
yeah. What
Well, what
about these
about?
planets?
No, what are we looking at here? What
Are we
are
looking at planets from NASA, or are we looking at the bottoms of burnt frying pans?
right? Exactly. It
They're
could be
frying
just
pans.
abstract art. Are we looking at?
No,
Fucking
let's
love
look at
you, Dave.
let's
I
look
fucking
at
love
this.
you, bro.
Let's look at this. So this is the Hubble telescope, and this is where your brain is going to melt. But I'm going to help you.
All
Right?
help
Just
me
last
out.
year, they said they found a galaxy with inhabitable planets 13.4 billion light years away.
Yes,
You know what a light year is? The light distance travels in a year,
in the
right?
year. Yes.
The distance light travels in a year. It's 1,186,000 miles a second or something stupid. Okay. So 13.4 billion light years. So let's just look at one light year, not 13.4 billion, just one, not 1 billion. One light year is 5.8 trillion miles. Do you know how long 1 trillion seconds is by any chance?
1 trillion seconds.
Yeah, about.
Probably
Do you have-
longer than we live.
Yeah, 31,000 years. Okay. So that's how big 1 trillion is. So it's 5.8 trillion miles away. The moon is 237,000 miles away. So one light year is 24.8 million times farther than the moon. Stick with me. You can handle
Okay.
this.
I'm following.
24.8 million times farther than the moon. That's one light year. Okay. Now you got to take this 24.8 million times farther than the moon and multiply it by 13.4 billion.
Okay.
And we can zoom in and see a planet there, but we can't zoom in and see the moon lander.
Well, I think the way they explain that they're finding this is not by zooming in, but rather that the light from there travels to us. We're just seeing it now, but because the light it travels forever.
I used to love that story. But think about this. Do you know what the inverse square law of light is? Because they didn't teach you that in school. So the day you skipped, they didn't learn it that day. Light spreads out. Like if you hold a flashlight in your face, it's really bright, but move it 10 feet away, it's not so bright anymore. Move it farther away, and the light spreads. Every time you double the distance to a light, it's a quarter of the brightness. Yeah. Right? That light spreads out like if you had a balloon and you put a little air in it, that rubber, let's just say that's the light, and I blow it up to a foot in diameter, in circumference, whatever, that rubber is now thinner. If I blew it up to 10 feet, that rubber is going to be really thin. If I blew it up to 100 miles, could you even see the rubber? That's the light. right? The light spreads out. It doesn't focus and burn through space for billions of years and then hit your eyes and go, oh, I see that star,
Well,
right?
but that's how they're saying that it does.
Yeah, but
Because
that's just them saying it. But science proves that that's not true.
but for
Science
example,
proves that that's not true.
so let's just let me try to explain it the way they say it, right? And then
Yeah.
you try to
Now, who are
explain
they
how I'm wrong.
when you're explaining it? They, is that the government?
Whatever the scientists,
So we'll
whatever.
call it the government, the people that would never lie to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So the way I look now, you're saying it spreads out, right?
Yeah.
But that's because you're we're thinking about like a flashlight, right? That goes off and on. Okay, now, but when you've got something like the sun, and it's burning, then it's constantly sending out rays. Yes, it's sending them into infinite directions all at once.
And it's
And
spreading out. It's
yeah,
spreading
yeah,
out. It's
but
not free energy. It's not multiplying energy.
it's spreading out, but it's spreading out consistently
yeah,
into
getting
all
dimmer
directions at
and
all
dimmer
times.
and dimmer and smaller and smaller and smaller.
But that just seems to us because we're not looking directly into the ray itself. But if you were to look directly into the sun, there would be a ray that's like like a laser that just
Yeah.
goes off and burns for how long the sun
The
burns.
sun is not a
Billions of years.
laser, and lasers do spread out whether you realize it or not. So think about this. If let's say you're close to the sun and you look at it, and let's say a billion photons are hitting the square inch of your eye. Well, if we double the distance to that sun, it's now got to hit 4 square inches of your eye. So that billion is now a quarter of a billion. Then you double the distance again, and it's literally going down to where there'll be no photons left in no time. There'll be no photons left. Let me just show you. That's the brightness issue. This is something easier to understand, the angular size. If the sun was a mile over your head, it's 860,000 miles wide, they tell us. If it was a mile over your head at noon, you'd look up and all you would see is the sun. Would you agree?
Okay. So let me just rephrase it. Okay, let me ask you this question, and then you explain it to me because I don't have this stuff from the top of my head. But like, what in your model for the sun, the moon? Please explain the size, distance, path, and speed for it.
I can't, but I'm going to disprove what they tell us in the heliocentric model. And you have to remember that falsification, when you falsify something, it's independent of a replacement. Like if I told you that somebody stole the last cookie out of my cookie jar this morning, and I'm blaming you, but you proved that we're in different countries right now. I can't say, well, you need to explain to me who stole the cookie. Otherwise, I'm still going to blame you. I falsified that it's you. You falsified it. So we can try to find an answer, but I'm going to falsify the sun. So the sun is a mile over your head. It fills the entire sky. It's like the sun is a yoga ball. You're on a BB, a millimeter underneath that yoga ball looking up. All you see is yoga ball. Okay? So then we move it. Do you remember how far away it was?
I don't remember.
93 million miles. And now now it's the size of a coin held at arm's length, just like we see it. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. If I doubled the distance again, it would be half the height and half the width, so a quarter of the size. So now the sun would be like the size of a pencil eraser, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 times as far. If I made it 8 times as far, now it's going to be a quarter of the size of a pencil eraser. So now it's like a bright star at 8 times as far away. You with me? We keep doubling it, and every time we double it, it's a quarter of the size. So we went from a coin to an eraser to a quarter of an eraser. That's 8 times as far. So at 8 times as far, they also tell us 93 million miles is 8 light minutes. So 8 times 8 is 64. Let's call that a light hour. At a light hour, the sun would appear to be a large star at best. You with me? This is science. This is something that NASA would have to agree with. So if we made it 2 light days away, now it's the size of a regular star. If we made it 24 light days away, a full 24 light hours away, I'm sorry. So 1 light day away, its angular size would be far too small to see. You with me? It would be too small to see. You can't see something. I think the formula is 3,000 times the width in distance, and then you can't see it. Its angular size is too small. Your eyes can only see things up to 0.02 degrees in arc. So the sun would be far too small at a light day away. But let's just go, we'll call it a light week, just for fun, right? At a light week away, there's no possible chance that you could see the sun. ChatGPT would agree. Everyone would agree. It's far too far. Well, you've looked up and seen Polaris, right?
Yes.
Our North Star. You can see it with your naked eye. They tell us it's 46 times bigger than the sun. So if we made it 46 times farther, it would be the same size as the sun. Well, at the sun, at a light week away, 46 times farther is just under a year. We'll call it a light year away. At a light year away, there's zero chance that you could see Polaris. 1 light year away, and they tell us it's 340 light years away or something stupid. 430, sorry, 430.
Okay. I understand. So I understand your calculation here. Okay, you're comparing the size to what it seems like compared to its real the real size. Now, but what do you think about they're saying? Now, I don't know this stuff from the top of my head. So you just
I'll help you.
Help me out with this, okay? Now, I don't even know if the Polaris is still there, because the theory is that because these things are so far away, that a lot of these stars might have died a long time ago, and what we're seeing is just still the light from them traveling towards us, but the object itself might be gone a long time ago. Now, I don't know if Polaris still exists, but you can help me out. I don't know what the theory is, because not everything that we see exists. So, for example, like sun, it is a weird thing to compare sizes and how clearly you can see things, because sun gives off light. That makes it much easier to spot versus for example, the moon. The moon doesn't have natural light. It doesn't give off natural light of its own. It just refracts some of the light from the sun. So, I mean, it just makes sense to me that we would see sun from further distances away than other objects that don't give off light, like other planets, right? So we can look at different planets and how far they are, right, and how large we can see them. I don't know if we can make the same comparison with the stars, because they give off light, right? And that causes a lot of confusion. It's kind of like the car. Okay, I'll give you an analogy. Okay, if you're driving or in the middle of the highway at night and there's a truck coming at you, when will you see the truck? You will see the truck with its headlights on, much further away than if without his headlights, because it's giving off light. It's like a warning. Although the size of the truck doesn't change. You understand? Like your perception, our human perception, we will see the truck with the headlights on quicker than the one without the headlights, but the truck will stay the same size. How does that theory?
Yeah, there's so many things you said there that you're just repeating what you were told. The light traveling forever. You know, when you actually do the math, do the science, and understand what light is and how it travels, you'll know that story is just the dumbest story ever. It's just not true. So you have to kind of let that one go. Okay. Again, we're looking up at the sky to determine the shape of the floor, which is kind of weird, right? The other thing is, you said that the moon. The moon is reflecting sunlight. Have you ever seen a rock on Earth that is that bright? That is so reflective, right? You ever see?
Supposedly, it has certain dust, certain properties, and it's not reflective. It's like it's been lit up by. It's like daylight. You understand? Like the daylight on the moon is what we're seeing, and that's why it seems more reflective than actually. It's not necessarily that it's reflective, but it's the fact that there's a daylight on it.
Do you think we went to the moon? Just curious.
I think we did. That's what the propaganda says, and I believe everything that the propaganda says. So far. I'm here for you to
listen. I got you. Just take a breath, man. Relax. It's okay. Yeah. We're friends. Here's a shot from the moon, and here's the moon from Earth. Now, the moon is bright. You can read a book by it. It casts your shadow on the ground. How does that happen? 238,000 miles away, the inverse square law says that 100 miles away, the moon should appear brighter than we see the sun from Earth. But that's not what they saw. This is what they said they saw. Again, once you understand how that works, you'll understand that they're lying to you. This is a light in the sky, right? And we have a full moon last night or the night before. Go out tonight and you'll see clouds in the sky, and you'll notice that the clouds, the only ones that are lit are the ones that are right next to the moon. The clouds far away are not lit. They're not lit at all. And the other thing here, I'm just trying to find one for you. Here we go. So you'll see something like this. Why aren't these clouds lit? Right? Throw some cotton balls all over the floor and get a flashlight and hold it up in the ceiling. All the cotton balls are lit. Then bring it down so it just lights up these cotton balls right here. It has to be right there. So again, lights in the sky that defy natural law are no way to prove the shape of the Earth. But just one more thing, and then you go. So this is, where is it? All right. So I'm standing right next to this cement ball, which is kind of shiny. It's probably more reflective than the moon. It's 12 o'clock noon. How come it's not casting light on me? How come I don't see light like this? This is a light in the sky. This is a light. This is a rock. The moon is not reflecting sunlight. It is a light itself. And it actually emits a cold energy. Moonlight is colder than moonshade.
So, but what does the lunar phases and eclipse mean in your model?
Well, the lunar eclipses can be completely debunked in the heliocentric model. Would you like me to do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wait. Is it different from your model that you showed?
Well, we have theories. We have theories. But again, anything in the sky, the only thing that you can honestly say about things in the sky is that they're lights. It's the only thing you can say about the planets, the stars, the asteroids, the sun. They're lights. We don't know anything else about them. We can theorize all we want, right? But
so do you have like a map that you consider accurate?
So our map, the Gleason's map, is far more accurate than the globe map. We can look into that in a moment.
You do some flight patterns, Dave?
Yeah, well, we'll show that in a second. That's one that'll get you. So an eclipse is, well, we're not ready for that yet. Let me just switch out of this one. There it is. So I want to go to lunar eclipse. Give me a second. Boom, lunar eclipse. So there's a thing called this. Now, tell me, do you know what causes a lunar eclipse in your model?
From my understanding, it is the Earth, I guess, casting shadow, interfering, and that's why there's a curvature in the eclipse. Is because
well, glad you said that.
Curvature.
So you were told that the only way to get a curved shadow is with a sphere, because any other shape wouldn't always give you a curved shadow. Like if it was a disc, it would be a line. If it was straight, it would be a straight. That's what you were told, and you stored that as new information. Now, a child will store that as new information. An adult will store it as, that sounds good, and they'll store it as true if it came from somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson or somebody.
Until proven wrong.
Until proven wrong. So we're going to prove it wrong right now. Okay. So here we got the sun, we got the moon, and the Earth is not in between them yet, right? So the eclipse hasn't started, right? No. So the Earth is going to move in between them and cause an eclipse, correct? Like this. It goes up. It should cause it. This is what you should see, right?
Right. Yeah. Something along those lines. Yeah.
Something along that lines.
Kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of like that. But here's the problem. There's a thing called the Selenilian eclipse, right? You got your observer here. The eclipse hasn't started. The sun is above his right shoulder, above his horizon. The moon is above his left shoulder, above his horizon. So the Earth is not in between them yet, but the eclipse already started, and the shadow's coming in from the top. Mm-hmm. So that rules out the Earth as a cause. That's the first thing, but we're going to talk about that. So this is what they saw, but this is what they should have seen as the Earth moved into alignment. So the scientists don't like saying Selenilian because it's too hard to pronounce, so they call it the impossible eclipse. And that's it. They call it the impossible eclipse because it's geometrically impossible and they can't explain it. But they still say that it's a real thing, right? So here's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
You were told that a straight line, that a curved line comes from a ball. But when you have a single source light like the sun, we have the earth here, and it's casting a round shadow on the wall, right? But when we slide the moon in between of a circle, a sphere onto a sphere, it makes a straight line. They cancel each other out, and it actually makes a straight line. The only way to get a curved line is use a straight edge. Now, I'm not saying that the earth is flat and it's using a straight edge, but a curved earth on a curved ball creates a straight line, and we don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Okay. Well, okay, fair enough. By the looks of, from that video, but then again, it's hard to say how these things would work out, in real.
Well, science is scalable. Science is scalable. That's the thing with science. It is scalable on different sizes. And the other issue is over great distances, shadows dissipate. Put a basketball on the ground at noon, and you'll see a nice sharp shadow around it. Then hold it over your head, and the shadow just fades out. It just disappears, right? The whole idea that the earth is causing a shadow, and since when do shadows turn red? Like when we have a blood moon eclipse like we just did the other day, the earth, it turned red. And then we can use different lenses, like infrared lenses, that totally see no eclipse during the eclipse. Infrared doesn't make shadows go away, but it makes the eclipse go away. So again, we're falsifying the heliocentric explanation.
Okay.
I'll talk about solar eclipses.
Well,
we can move on.
Dave, you know what I'd really like you to do?
Yes.
Do you have the Prague clock? Is that what it's called?
Oh, I do. Let's let's do that in a second. But okay. I want to talk about a flight pass. Would you do that?
Yes.
Because I've got basically, I want you to give me your top 3 to 5 proofs, your best proofs.
I will. Yeah. There's many. But so do you remember the World Cup? World Cup. It was the last year's World Cup. It was played in Doha, and Argentina won, and they had their own private plane, and so they said we want to go home. So they flew to Rome to get fuel, and then they flew to Argentina. Isn't that weird? Why didn't they just fly to Argentina? It's about the same distance as Rome. Might even be closer. But if you look at it on a flat Earth map, Doha, Rome, lots of ocean, Argentina. That's weird. That's just weird, right? So let's look at another one.
I love flight paths. I heard a lot about this. Airplane routes that don't make sense.
Sydney to Peru. Yeah. This is the shortest path right here. But it goes all the way up to Los Angeles and then all the way down to Peru. Flat Earth. Sydney, Los Angeles, Peru.
Okay.
Right?
So right? when I'm on an airplane, I'm looking at the flight path on an airplane on a long distance flight. Are those paths lying to me then?
They're lying to you 100%, 100%. So here's some emergency landings, and this proves that they're lying to you. There was a flight from New York to Hawaii, or Hawaii to New York, I forget. The plane was right about here, I guess New York to Hawaii, and someone's having a baby, a heart attack, whatever, and they landed in Seattle, about 1,000 miles out of the way, and they got there in like 12 minutes. Like, whoa, wait a minute. But if you look at it on a flat Earth map, New York, Seattle's right on the line, the straight line. Airplane flies straight and level over the Earth plane. Let's look at another one. Pakistan to London, or London to Pakistan. Emergency. I think it was over 1,000 miles out of the way. They landed in Moscow. Happens to be that Moscow is right on the straight line between the origin and the destination. Again, just by coincidence. Again, Moscow's right on the line. Emergency landing between these two, draw a straight line. Now, when you see this line, it's a huge curve, but if you look at on the globe, all of the land masses that it touches are the same as on a flat Earth, right? This one landed in Calgary. Calgary is way out of the way over here. This one landed in Manchester, right on line there. Again, this one landed in Alaska. Alaska's right on the line. How many do you need to be exactly on that straight line to finally just give up? This one was from New York to Fiji. And right here, they had emergency. No, New York to Auckland, and they went to Fiji. Well, why? Because Fiji is right in line with that path. New York, Fiji, New Zealand. It's not way off to the side. Again, all of these things are crazy. And this is my favorite one. This is actually a really good one. So this was a trip from Hong Kong to the UK, but after 12 hours, it stopped in Germany because 4 hours into the flight, a mother died suddenly. Weird. Don't know what happened to her. Something in 2020, maybe. And she's with her family, kids, husband, and they left her in her seat for 8 hours dead. They didn't land. They didn't land here. They didn't land in any of the 500 different airports along this route. They went all the way, and they finally landed in Germany rather than just finishing the last little bit of the trip. Now, why didn't they land? Because if they did, we would realize that they were over Russia. We would draw a line like this and prove the earth is flat. So they couldn't do it. And they finally landed in Germany, but they couldn't because they were flying over Russia. And if they landed in Russia, two things would happen. Russia would be like, oh, let us help. Let us be helpful. And that could start world peace. We don't want that. And the other thing is people like me and other flat earthers will say this proves the earth is flat. So they couldn't do it. So they had those kids are ruined for life. Their dead mother on that plane for 8 hours next to them. Could you imagine? Somebody has a stomach ache, they land an airplane.
Dave, real quick, please. Can you
so
please show them the circle navigation
So
with
if
the magnet?
if the Earth is flat, which routes should be shorter?
Yeah. So I'll show them. That. Well, we'll talk about that about why a flight that is twice as far takes the same amount of time as a flight that's half the distance. We can talk about that in a second. So this is Amelia Earhart's route, and she flew west or east. I think she went east. This is east. East is a circle around. Let me show you how that works. What do you mean east is a circle? Doesn't prove flat Earth because it's the same on flat Earth and a globe Earth. So here we go. We have a flat Earth map. And at the center, I've got a neodymium magnet. I got my compass. The needle is pointing to the north. So west is 90 degrees off of this needle. Well, for me to go west, I have to constantly keep turning to the right to maintain a heading of 270 degrees west. And it brings me right back to where I started from. I circumnavigated the earth. If I go east, again, east, I have to turn left. This is the same on a globe. It doesn't prove either. But east and west are circles. What's impossible on a globe, on a flat earth, is to go south, right? Well, hold on. If I try to dead reckon, which means I'm not going to turn to the right, instantly I'm heading south. South is every direction away from the center. All of these lines radiating out from the center are south. South is away from north. Every straight line goes south. Now, on a flat earth, on a globe earth, I should be able to go over here and pop up over here. I should be able to go from Santiago, zip, and pop up over here in Australia.
Yes,
but nobody, not theoretically, absolutely, if the earth is a globe, no one has ever gone south. Now I'm heading north. And as soon as I pass the north, the compass does a 180. And now I'm heading south. Every straight line is south.
You would think that if this was just a theory, somebody would fly and disprove it. It's so easy, right? And
it's not easy because the Antarctic Treaty doesn't allow anybody to fly over Antarctica. It's like, oh, it's too dangerous, and magnetic fields and all of
the penguins. The penguins.
Yeah, got to protect the penguins and the ice.
They'll take you out of the sky. Do they have like some kind of
Well, there's let me show you. So Admiral Byrd went down there, Project High Jump, and when he came back, they immediately had the Antarctic Treaty. So the Antarctic Treaty, all of these countries all agreed. They put bases around here. Remember, though, I don't know if you guys remember the Falklands War. Remember the
I
Falklands
thought
War?
that was that nobody can claim Iceland, not that
No,
nobody
you mean
can fly it.
Antarctica. Antarctica.
Antarctica, sorry.
Yeah.
Antarctica.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
saying that
Falklands,
it's only for
Falklands.
peaceful purposes, no military. It's only military down there, right? No, and there's also there you can't drop a cigarette ash, nothing. It's so pristine. Bullshit. We've got whistleblowers from the Marines and from the armed forces that say that they have mining operations down there that are incredibly polluting. Pulling all sorts of precious metals out of the ground. But these are all the bases run by the United Nations, and nobody is allowed to independently go outwards.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I would love for them to see all the fakery in NASA, bro, if we could.
Sure. So we don't have 25 hours to show them all the fakery in
So
NASA,
it's
but
not
we'll show them
possible
some.
to, like,
So
get
how
a
do
private
we
plane
find you? Are you on?
You can my website is flatearthdave.com, right? And this is my app. It's a $3 app, and it has all sorts of information. If you click the question mark button right here, it brings you to the FAQ page, and questions like, why the lie, or where does the sun go, or how do seasons work, circumnavigation, International Space Station nonsense. There's all sorts of stuff, and you can really educate yourself. And there's tons more on here. There's the friend finder. Check this out. This is people are like, oh, flat earth. There's no flat earthers out there, right? This represents less than 1% of the flat earthers out there. These are people that are using my friend finder. Right? These are people. Where are you guys located?
I never met a blue dot I didn't like, Dave.
Yeah, there you go. And matter of fact, I'm adding a new feature on the app now. It's a jobs board. It's for people that are looking for jobs that have like-minded bosses, or bosses that are looking for like-minded employees. And that's going to be launched in the next couple of weeks on here. So, they used to say to us in 2014, oh, good luck getting a job. And now we don't want to work with you. We don't want to hire you, and we don't want you to hire us. We're going to be hiring ourselves. So I'm starting a jobs board.
Nice.
There's discrimination against flat earthers.
No, discrimination against globers. We want critical thinking people.
I see.
Yeah, listen, globers are belief is the enemy of knowing. Belief is the lazy man's knowing. You can believe anything you want. It takes no effort, right?
So,
I live in Connecticut. Do you believe it?
Well, you're telling me that. I don't see why you would.
So you kind of believe it, right? Gun to your head. Do I live in Connecticut? You're not so sure now, right? So we can't go.
No.
Yeah, we can't go through life.
You could be just messing with me. Yeah,
right, we can't go through life just questioning every single thing. We'd never get anywhere. You have to have some sort of intuition and trust. And hey, his voice sounds a little New Yorky, and Connecticut's right next to New York, and he is on the East Coast time, and blah, 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 blah. And now let me check his Facebook page out. Oh, look, these pictures, and you get the metadata, and you're like, oh, he just took that yesterday, and that is in Connecticut. You can figure it out, right? But that takes time and effort. It's just easier to believe, right? You believe the earth is a globe, but you don't have a single reason why.
Very good point. Let me before we get off this the flight routes subject. I wanted to know, like, are the pilots in on it? Because they do have to get government certified, right? They have to get a license, and are they realizing they're operating on the flat Earth, or they're in with the government in on it? Like, they have to swear some kind of put their hand on some type of
it's not like that at all. So what it is many pilots know, and it's a growing number. I have pilots from almost every major airline that I speak with. They know that the Earth is a level, stationary, non-rotating plane. All their manuals say treat the Earth as a level, non-rotating plane, and so a lot of them know, but back in 2014 or 15 or 16, we interviewed a KLM senior pilot woman, and she was explaining how the Earth is flat, how airplanes work, and they don't nose down and everything. And the next day she was grounded. And, pilots are afraid that the Qantas pilots out of Australia, those are the ones they all know because of their routes. They've all figured it out. They talk about it openly in the lounges, but they don't talk about it publicly because they love, excuse me.
They know what's
Excuse
good
me,
for
their
them, right?
cushy
They want
job.
to keep
Yeah,
their job.
they love their cushy jobs. But since you mentioned airplanes, let's talk about this real quick. So I'm flying into an airport and in kick back. I'm relaxing. Pilot comes on and goes, we're about 125 miles out. Everybody seat backs up. Get ready. Put your computers away. Blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
So that pilot has to do a calculation. How many miles out he is, 125, his altitude, and how many feet per mile so he can hit the runway.
Mm-hmm.
That is a flat Earth calculation based
Because
on a
if the
level
Earth was
plane.
rotating, it would have to think
forget the rotation. That's a whole nother problem. But if the Earth was curved, he'd be 2 miles too high when he got to the runway. There's 2 miles of curvature in 125 miles. They don't calculate that curvature in there. Isn't that crazy?
What the hell?
Well, they don't calculate it because there is no curvature.
So is it part of is the curvature part of the formula, or it's not?
They
even
say
part
don't.
Of the...
They never teach pilots about curvature because there is none. Excuse me.
That's hilarious. By the way,
yeah.
Just a quick shout out here to Speedy for being a member for 41 months. He says, "Great show, Timmy." On an unrelated note, do you think we could have Terrace Howard on the show next week? I don't know who that is. We'll do some research and I'll see what's possible. Okay. Very, very interesting. So what about the computers that they got in the plane? Those are calibrated to the flat Earth, right? Are they calibrated, and are the pilots actually know how those computers work? If the Earth truly flat, like you're saying, right, then the software has to be calibrated in such a way, right? But then the pilots still have to be convinced and told to go with this round model.
Pilots that think the Earth is a globe, they say, oh, well, the autopilot just auto-corrects, right? But what about like little planes? You know, do they have autopilot that auto-corrects for curvature? Like, well, the air pressure corrects, right? And gravity holds the plane, right? These are just excuses, right? Because the plane would have to nose down. Gravity would have to pull the nose down because you fly a quarter of the way around the Earth, you're going to be there. You're going to be perpendicular to the Earth or nose diving. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
The SR-71.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. The gyro spins up on the runway, and it maintains rigidity in space. So here's your gyro, here's the airplane, and the airplane turns, the gyro doesn't move, right? Mm-hmm. Gyros are independent of gravity. So if you're flying over a ball, by the time you got a quarter way around the ball, the gyro would be vertical, and it doesn't do that. Well, then now they claim, they got pendulous vanes and all this new high-tech equipment. Well, what about when they didn't have that? Right? How did gyros work? Gyros hold rigidity in space. If you flew 6,000 miles, the gyro would be vertical when you landed because it would be level with where you took off from. But that doesn't happen ever.
Oh, the planes have gyros? I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's what that holds. The artificial horizon they see, a gyro tells them where it is. So when the plane turns, they can tell they're turning. When it dips, the higher horizon rolls back or forward or whatever, right? So let me show you another thing. So here's the people say, give me a good proof.
Ideally, I would love to see a flat Earth route map that matches actual flight duration. If you have something like that,
I'll show you that in 1 second. So here we got, not to scale, of course, right? A pilot's looking forward and he sees these stars in the sky, right? So as he's going, now his forward is here, and those stars would be above him. Agreed?
I gotta be honest, it's more tricky than in the space how these things are. I mean, because this thing is millions of miles away. But
billions.
let's just say billions. Yeah, exactly, billions. So it is. And the Earth is also rotating, right? And
Yeah, so let's look at that. So the airplane is flying around the Earth like this
yeah,
while it's
yeah,
rotating,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's making this figure eight pattern. Check this out. It goes
Right.
down like this. It's moving sideways. Now it's changing directions, and now it's coming around. Do you believe that you do this?
Well, yeah. I think that's what's happening.
I'm sorry.
All right. So here's a flight from Germany to Brazil. Now, Brazil is on the side of the ball. Germany will start on the top of the ball. And we're looking at these stars here as we're flying, time lapse, and the stars are not rotating up. He should be diving over. Now, if we ask Google Earth, simulate this flight for us, what would it look like? Right? And here's Google Earth. The stars are all rising up as the plane is diving over the ball. This is what Google Earth says it should look like. But what we see is this. They're not rising up. They're just rotating as they rotate in the sky. These stars in front of him should be over him by the end of that flight, and they're not. Again, you can't scream refraction. You can't scream any of the things Globe are screaming, because this is what's supposed to happen. You're diving over the ball, so these stars here, which are in front of you, should now be above you.
Right.
Like this. They should be doing that, but they're not. Simulation tells you what it should do. Okay, makes sense. Reality shows you that it's not doing that. What do you need to get off the ball?
And how close is that simulation? See the Google Earth projection. How close is that on the same level? Is the plane at the same height?
Same thing, same level, same destination. Now, the Globers went crazy on this one. They said, well, you're going in the direction, you're going east or west or whatever, and the spin of the Earth is countering it. That's why they weren't going up. Cool. But we weren't going east or west. We were going southwest, I believe. And we're only going 500 miles an hour, and the stars are moving at 1,000 miles an hour. So it really doesn't make sense. But the other issue is when they filmed it coming back in the other directions, if it was being canceled out by the spin, it should be twice as bad in the opposite direction, right? It should be twice as bad because now you're going against the spin, and it was the same. They just didn't rise. They didn't rise because you're not nosing down. Airplanes fly straight and level over the Earth plane.
Well, it's very, very interesting. Where was that footage from, by the way?
That was from a pilot that took it from a trip from Germany to, I think it was Brazil, Germany to Brazil.
So he recorded with a GoPro or what?
A GoPro, right. And pilots have strict rules that they're not allowed to have any filming devices in the cockpit.
Exactly. We probably know why.
Right. The SR-71 Blackbird flies Mach 3.2. And when it's going full speed, it cannot turn left or right at all, up or down at all. But it needs to drop. 9.5 miles every 60 seconds, 836 feet per second. It needs to drop. 836 feet per second would plaster you against the ceiling. But it flies straight and level, and it could see things far beyond the curve. Let me ask you a question. If we lived on a ball of whatever size, there comes a point as something moves away from you that it disappears below the curve. Like if you and I were outside playing and you walked over a hill and ducked down, I couldn't see you because the hill is in the way, right? Make sense?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So they tell us that the Earth is so big that you don't see the curvature, but they want you to believe that ships disappear from the bottom up going over the horizon, right? So here we have...
I thought they do.
They do, but not because of curvature, other reasons, and we can prove that. Okay. So here we have large bodies of water.
This is what is this called? The water.
So I'll explain.
Okay.
Could you bring me 5 gallons of water right now without a container?
Look in my hands.
No. But that would be a container.
Right. No.
So you can't. Water needs to be contained, and water, anything more than 4 millimeters of water at rest lies flat, right? Surface tension, anything smaller than that will make a drop, but that's a surface tension, right?
Yeah.
So here we have a canal or a lake, whatever, and it's at rest. It lies flat, and when it's cold, it freezes flat. We have flat ice. We have a camera 6 inches above the ice. Over here, we put these 4 lights at 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, and 5 miles. Now, your globe programming goes, well, that's not far enough to see any curvature. Well, according to your globe math, now globers, when they can see something that's farther than the curve, they go, well, it's refracting up, right? There is a thing called distortion, refraction, whatever you want to call it, but that's only if it's in line of sight to you. I give an example. My wife was walking down the beach, my daughter, and they're like over a mile away, and I'm zooming in with my P1000, and they literally looked like genies. Their bodies were warping, and it was really weird, right? But it's just because of distortion. But if I put a 10-foot brick wall in between me and them, I would never see them distorting above, below, or sides. I wouldn't, because I don't have line of sight. So they add refraction. Refraction is when there's warm air and stuff. This is cold at night, dry, no refraction, but we'll add 50% refraction because I just love giving the ball every benefit of the doubt I could. So with that crazy amount of refraction, this one should be 30 feet below the top of the crest of that hill, 22, 15, and 9 feet. But for some reason, they all appear right here. Now, there's 2 explanations. One, flat Earth camera, 6 inches above the ice. It sees the lights, 1, 2, 3, 4. It just sees them in a straight row across the flat ice. That's it. Flat ice. Flat Earther explanation, done. Globe explanation. Camera 6 inches off, horizon's 0.88 miles away, less than a mile away. And at this tangent, this one's refracting up that much. This one's refracting up more, and more. And they stop right at the tangent here. They don't refract up higher. They don't refract up lower and are hidden. They all magically stop at the tangent of the camera to the ball Earth. And that's because of refraction and pi over 7.6R and this equation and that equation and nonsense. Versus lights on the flat ice in view, period. Which one makes sense?
I don't 100% understand what is happening here.
So if you had a basketball and I had a marble on the top of the basketball and you're looking at the top of the basketball and I rolled the marble away from you, it's now behind the basketball. You can't see it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could if I gave you a super zoom camera, could you zoom in and see it? No. It's behind the basketball. You can't see it. But I give you the Hubble telescope and you can't see it.
But that picture that you showed earlier, so just flip back to the image that you had there before. So here, right, this is on ice, right? You're saying there's a lake, right? And they put lights on ice, right?
Yep.
And one is 8 miles away, one is 7, 6, and then 5.
Yep. And giving a crazy advantage to the globe and saying there's a massive amount of refraction. I've lowered these numbers to 30, 22, 15, and 9 hidden.
Mm-hmm. So now what if you go further than that? So what is the, like, okay, so they're saying, okay, there's a maximum refraction. So go back to the other one. So that we got 8 miles. That's the maximum. Is that's the length of the lake? And
well, that's how far we did it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, and 5 miles.
Uh-huh. And so the camera explanation is that it's still able to pick up refraction even at 8 miles in the distance.
No, the camera explanation is the lights are there in my line of sight. The glober explanation is nonsensical garbage.
So they're saying how are the because. So the
Tim, they're saying the light is refracting up, and you're seeing it from that perspective. You're not actually seeing the light. You're seeing the light
like
bounce
the light
up,
is shooting up.
Yes,
they're saying.
Yes.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just address the super chat. We got a $10 super chat. Tim, tonight look at the stars and see which way they move. Then call Dingo Dave and ask him how they move for him. Dingo Dave is in Australia.
Yeah.
It's opposite, hands the globe with hemispheres. Okay. Well, you know what? Look, we'll get back to this. Let's not forget that, because I'm really glad he brought that up. Another lie that you were told, that stars rotate in the opposite direction. They do not. You were told that toilets go in a different direction. They do not.
Okay. It's just a lie that you've never verified. In the north. Yep, let me just show you. Hold on. So if we go, where's my star rotation? Where is my star? There it is. Southern
And
Stars.
we have a 100-pound donation from Heart Maldives. Can we just talk about Roman and his new venture selling blind box watches? How about this? Look, we have Dave here for 2 hours. We got 50 more minutes. We got him for another 50 minutes. So we will do 50 minutes, and then we'll get back to the usual subject of the day.
Hey everybody, quick message that I'd like to share with all of you. Our lives are filled with toxins in our air, food, and even in the information we're taught. Avoiding them all is impossible, but helping your body detox doesn't have to be complicated. That's where Masterpiece comes in. Just 5 drops under your tongue twice a day, and that's it. Super easy, super simple, and it doesn't even taste bad. I've tried countless supplements, and while generally I'm pretty healthy, I didn't really feel much of an effect. But with Masterpiece, it delivered noticeable benefits. Check out the podcast I did with Terry from Masterpiece, linked below this video, or you can find links directly to Masterpiece on my website, flatearthdave.com, or in the shopping section on the app. The key to health is to detoxify. Now back to the show.
In the north, when you look north, you'll see the stars rotating counterclockwise. Fact, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
In the south, when you look south, you'll see the stars going clockwise. However, in the south or the north or on the equator, when you face north, all the stars rotate counterclockwise. And in the north, in the south, on the equator, anywhere on Earth, when you look south, you see the stars rotating clockwise. Okay. Globers want you to believe that they don't do that, but they do. And by the way, that doesn't prove the Earth is flat because it's not exclusive to either model. But the Globers have to lie because they were told that as a child, and they go, well, that only works on a globe. Well, one, it works on a flat Earth too, but it's a lie. It's not even true. It's
right. Okay. How about this? How does your model handle seeing different constellations in the southern hemisphere?
I'm going to totally explain that to you, and I'm going to prove the globe with it, okay? So first, we have 2 oil rigs here. There's one in the front, about 6 miles away, and one in the back, 8 miles away. We have an 8-foot observer. The camera's on a tripod 8 feet above the water, and we can see these 2. Now, using the globe Earth calculator, the horizon should be 3.5 miles out. So the horizon should be like here. What do I mean by the horizon? Well, if you're looking out, if that's the Earth curve, I shouldn't be able to see the surface of the water beyond the horizon. So if 3.5 miles is right here, I shouldn't be able to see this water here.
Well, horizon is as far as you can see, right? The horizon
on the horizon is no, you're correct. The horizon is as far as you can see, but on a globe there's a limitation. Now on a foggy day on a globe, you can't see to the physical curve because you just can't see. You can't see across the street. That's the same on a flat Earth. But depending on the conditions, we can see farther on certain days and not exclusive to ball or flat. However, the ball has a restriction. There is a maximum distance that you can see due to physical Earth curvature. Well, the physical Earth curvature is supposed to be here. But not only that, we can see the water. We can see the water here. We can see the water in between them. And we can see the water from miles beyond them. Right? That would require the radius of the Earth. We have observations that would require the radius of the Earth to be over 400,000 miles. When in reality, they tell us it's only under 4,000 miles. So if the Earth is 100 times bigger or 1,000 times bigger, that's a problem. If the radius of the Earth changes, all of spaceflight, all of our cosmology, everything is thrown out the window. But this proves that the radius is not what they tell us because we can see the surface of the water out here. We shouldn't be able to see it here. Some of this should be hidden. We shouldn't be able to see the surface of the water. We can see the surface of the water. That's a problem. That is a huge problem.
How do you calculate? So I'm struggling to understand. How do you calculate where the horizon is? Isn't horizon is as far?
So you can look up Google Earth curve calculator, or on my app there's an Earth curve calculator. So let me just show you real quick. We go to app, And if I click the more resources button, and here we go to the Earth curve calculator. So I say I've got an observer at the eye height is 8 feet. Distance is, we'll say the 6 miles, the closer rig, right? 6 miles, calculate, right? The horizon should be 3.4 miles away. Total hidden height is 4 feet, right? If we go to 10 miles, let's just go, it's a little farther because it's exponential. 10 miles, there should be 28 feet of hidden. 28 feet of that platform should be hidden, but we can still see the surface of the water. The surface of the water. You can't get any lower than that. We can still see the surface of the water. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even show you the calculator. I was showing you the calculator here. So 8-foot observer height, 10-mile distance. The horizon is under 3.5 miles away, and there's 28 feet hidden. So if you were standing at 10 miles away,
now are you assuming that the Earth is perfect globe, or is that?
I'm assuming that water would bend over the round of the Earth. The Earth is 70% water. How many stretches of flat ocean do you need to make a sphere?
But also, doesn't the height of the ocean rise and drop?
Doesn't matter. The height doesn't matter.
Wouldn't that increase the height of the?
Well, you have the camera is X number of feet above the water. It doesn't matter if it's high tide or low tide. It doesn't matter. The water at rest lies flat, right? Though 70% of the world is ocean, 50% of the ocean is the abyssal plain. What is that? That is the flat bottom of the ocean. Submarines can sit on the bottom of the ocean and see other submarines over 100 miles away with their sonar. But that sonar would have to climb over a mountain over a mile tall to hit that submarine and then climb back to give them a reading. But it can see the submarine.
Okay.
It should be behind a mountain over a mile high.
Also, rail guns do that as well.
Rail guns shooting at 125 miles away, line of sight, line up with a laser. Well, there should be 2 miles of curvature.
Okay.
But there's not.
Fair enough. It's but okay. So, but why does how does your model handle seeing different constellations in the southern hemisphere? Because
correct. I'm with you.
Yeah. How does that work?
So
this was okay. It's the calculations. These are really tough ones. I've never seen something.
Well, here's the thing: we weren't taught to deal with numbers like this, and it's very easy. So. Here, come back on screen with me. I'm not going to show anything right now. So on the flat Earth, the stars are close. The sun is close, and they're not far up. We sent up a balloon in Arizona at nighttime with 4K cameras looking up. And before it took off, clear night, we can see all the stars. It's amazing. And the balloon went up, and the higher it got, it should be able to see them brighter and brighter because we're going to get above any thick atmosphere. It should get brighter and brighter, and the stars should get clearer and clearer. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You go to the top of a mountain, the stars are brighter and clearer, so it would make sense as the balloon goes up.
There's less.
Less of the thickest part of the soupy atmosphere, right? It was a clear night, but the atmosphere gets thinner and cooler and less humid. So sure, it should get brighter and brighter.
I was just in Hawaii, and we went to the top 13,000 feet up into the mountain, so we could see the
amazing,
the
right?
entire
Amazing.
Milky Way.
Yeah, but when you get to 60, 70,000 feet, all the stars disappear.
Interesting. Okay. Why is that?
Don't ask me, but in the heliocentric model, it makes no sense.
Why would they disappear?
I could theorize that we see stars in apparent position, their projections through the firmament. I don't know if that's right, but the heliocentric model has no explanation for the stars disappearing, and they do, right? So let's say,
saying, like, for example, people, how tall is Mount Everest? The people
14,000 feet or 24,000. What is it?
You have to go even higher than that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's the contrast, right? There's a certain level of contrast. But what about this one? There's different constellations in the southern hemisphere. You
asked me. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Okay. So here we have streetlights, and we know this is a flat road, right? Top half of the picture you're looking at. And let's say there's 20 streetlights that go to here. right? Is this street light lower than this street light? No, it's the same height. It's, 30 feet up in the air, whatever it is. Can you see the 40th street light down here? This is the 20th right here. You can't see it, right? The sun does the same thing. This is the sun going away due to perspective, and it gets lower and lower and lower. And then this is when you're looking across the atmosphere, it becomes opaque, and the sun just goes beyond this opaque atmosphere. Let me show you before we get to the stars, because this will help you understand. Excuse me.
Sun fade out?
No, the sun kitchen. The kitchen.
Flat Earth kitchen?
Flat Earth kitchen. There you go. All right. So this little experiment I set up in my room. I got a counter. This line, the camera's at the height of this line, is the path of the sun. So I'm just going across the path of the sun. Now, this could be mountains or clouds or whatever, but I'm showing you that the sun never goes below this line, and it's going across straight. Now, I have a camera on the flat Earth counter on the other end, watching it from the other side. Let's see what that looks like. Now, if I showed you this first and said, is this line level? You'd be like, no, it's sloped at like 45 degrees. And I'd be like, is this sun going below this mountain or cloud deck? And you'd be like, yes, it is. But it's not, right? Zooming in, this looks like it's almost going straight down. And this is just going beyond it. But it looks like it's going below it. But I showed you that it's not, right? So if we compare this to this, a real sunset, what's the sun going behind right there?
Well, presumably it's behind some kind of atmosphere, right?
It's going behind, it's beyond the atmospheric deck of opacity. There it is again. This is level. So that's perspective. All right. So let me show you about the stars. We're going to get to this, but I'm just going to give you a little background. So
another thing, is the sun also flat? Is the moon flat? Are they?
Well, they call it the lunar disk, but I don't think the sun and the moon are physical things. So again, the only thing I can say about the sun is that it's a light. I couldn't tell you much more. Check out Crow 777 Radio. He's done some really incredible telescope work. If you ask me, I think the sun is where we get our consciousness from. So, yeah. So here is. So, is this the one I will show? So everything should go down and away. When you're on a ball, everything should go down and away. Is this water curving down and away?
Yes.
It is, but it looks like it's going up.
That's what we were told. That's the lie.
That's what you were told, but your observations, your God-given senses tell you that it's not. So I got two boats here. Why is the farther boat higher than the closer boat?
Because it's perspective, right?
Well, you can make up stories.
Because the way it has to do with how you look at it, right? If I was gonna drop down on my knees, I could kind of flip.
Right. So you're telling me that this is curving down and away, and it's due to perspective. Okay, cool. Right. So now I got a hallway. We know the hallway is flat. We know that it's not curving down and away. And when we overlay it onto the water, it has the exact same perspective. All of these lights in the ceiling are at the same height. Now, if I put the boats back in here, and I take out the water, they lay right on the floor of the hallway. But one of them's curving down and away, the other one's flat. Or maybe they're just both flat. Maybe. Okay, you with me?
Yeah. Okay.
So let's talk about so we got these street lights and we got our atmospheric deck of opacity. So if I put a truck here, you can't see past the fifth street light, right? Now, if I move that truck away, it's still blocking lights. The truck is above your eye line. It's 20 feet over your eye line. But as it goes away, the top of the truck starts to looks like your horizon. And in the distance, these lights look like they're going below it, but they're not. They're just going beyond it. So that's what the sun is doing. That's what the stars are doing. So the reason we have different stars, if you and I were in a Home Depot and we're in the middle there and we look up And we look at the lights are just randomly placed in the ceiling. And I say, hey, that looks like a turtle, and that looks like a horse, and that looks like a snake. You're like, yeah, I could see that. And I said, okay, now we're going to expand the Home Depot to 20 miles wide, 20 miles long, 20 miles wide. Huge Home Depot. And you go walking down aisle 6, right? 20 minutes later, you're a mile away. I can't see you because the ceiling and the floor have merged together from my angle. Right? I yell, you can't hear me. You're a mile away. I call you on your phone. You answer, and I go, look up. Do you see the turtle? Do you see the horse? Do you see the snake? You're like, no, I see completely different lights. I'm like, well, I can't see your lights. You can't see my lights. Conclusion, Home Depot's a sphere.
Well,
or maybe it's just flat and we're seeing different lights because they're local. They're not far up and they're out of view. That's it.
But theoretically, like if the Earth was flat and the conditions were perfect, wouldn't you be able to? Because if you go back to that footage of those platforms on the ocean, you should be able to zoom further past them and see other countries on the other side of the ocean. Why can't we?
Dave, let me get this one.
We just zoom infinitum.
Tim, what he was saying is that the atmosphere condenses to your eye level. It's like getting into an Olympic-sized swimming pool and opening your eyes and trying to see from one end to the other. You're not going to. You can't see that far. But according to the globe math, we should only see a certain amount of distance. When you get into an airplane, you can look at both windows on the side to side and see the horizon at eye level. And
that's exactly what I'm saying. Because with when you get on the plane, you can see further because you can see post the curvature.
No, that's what you're told. That's what you're told. That's what you're told.
I'm talking about on the ocean. Ocean, presumably. I understand. Let's say on land. Land has curvature. It has mountains, stuff. So you can't zoom in infinitely. But if the Earth is flat, then all the ocean should be flat, right? But why does it disappear after a certain amount?
Why does it disappear from the bottom up? We can talk about that, okay? So here's a spot over the ocean from Alouge, France. We're on a small mountain, and in the distance, 170 miles away, 173 miles away is Mount Canigou. According to globe math, from this altitude, the top of the mountain should be hundreds of feet below the Earth curve. And guess what? You can't see it. Therefore, the Earth is a ball. However, the sun migrates between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. And twice a year, it lines up with the viewer and that mountain. So you can't see it because the light that's bouncing off of it isn't bright enough to push through 175 miles of thick atmosphere, right? Like if I turned off all the lights in this room, you wouldn't see me because there would be no light bouncing off of me, right? But these lights in front of me are way brighter than the light that's bouncing off of me. And the sunlight is way brighter than the sunlight bouncing off of the mountain. So just jump forward a little bit. Twice a year, when the sun lines up, it moves and it backlights the mountain. Right here where the mouse is, right here is the top of the mountain. The top of that mountain should be a half a mile below the curve of the Earth. It should be a half a mile below the curve of the Earth. And it is clearly blocking the sun. Want to hear the Glober argument?
Yes, please.
So first, flat Earth argument. Mountain, sun, going beyond it. Flat Earth. Glober argument. Well, the mountain is actually below the Earth curve, and the sun is already set, but it's refracting up, and the dark side of the mountain is refracting up, blocking the sun. The reason you can't figure out what that means is because you're not stupid. It's stupid, right? The globe model is so stupid that people just go, oh, I have to just go with whatever the scientists say because I can't figure it out. You can't figure it out because it's stupid.
I mean, that's over 175 miles.
Yeah, and the Suez Canal,
I love this.
Over 100 miles. It was built on a datum line of 14 feet. It should be over 6,600 feet of curvature. It's a flat, no locks canal.
What is this?
By the way, we didn't build it. A previous civilization built it, but that's a whole nother story.
What are we looking at here?
This is at the Suez Canal.
Oh, Suez Canal.
Suez Canal. All canals.
This is
They're all
Suez.
level and flat.
Okay.
What's that?
No. I got it. I got it.
It's flat. It's flat. It's absolutely flat.
No,
There's
but
no.
why? But the thing is, though, why can't you see the end of the canal? If it was flat, wouldn't you be able to see the end of the canal?
Angular. No, you can't see forever. You just can't see
Okay, so
forever.
okay. So you're
Timmy,
saying
throw up a picture of a map of the Suez Canal, so
Suez.
people.
I don't have that handy right now, but I can show you. I'll show you something. Give me a second. So
Well, also, the longest bridge ever made too should have like 7,000 feet of curvature or something as well. I mean, all the bridges should have curvature, right, Dave?
yeah. Here we go. So here, as we look into the distance here, right? These mountains, you can see the green, and then it gets dimmer and dimmer and smaller and smaller. There's more mountains out here. You just can't see them because they're just lost in the soup of the atmosphere. You can't see forever. You can't see like more than 100 miles, but you shouldn't be able to see 10 miles because there's 66 feet of curvature.
But why can't you see further when you go?
Why can't you see across an Olympic swimming pool from underneath the water?
Okay.
It's called attenuation.
Fair enough. Look,
Let me
I don't have.
Let me think about that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you can't. You cannot.
Well,
Yeah.
I would assume that you could, but
These mountains are over 700 miles away. 700 miles. There's over, giving the benefit of the doubt, there's over 50 miles of curvature missing. 50 miles of curvature missing. And we can see them on a clear day. Now, the Globers will come and go, oh, they went up there like 50 times and couldn't see them, and they had to wait for a special day. Well, they're insinuating that special day had magical refraction, when in reality, the special day was just a day where the sky wasn't all chemmed and nasty and dirty, where it had clear conditions. That's all we're waiting for.
Franchise Club, $10 super chat. Shout out to, okay, come on, guys. To Dave, No Fault, Tim G, and Tim for this alternate universe content. This takes balls, which are round.
Yep.
Fair enough, but you guys believe in balls.
Well, I have my balls are actually flat discs, but that's a whole nother story. So here, darker, lighter, mountains here. Can you see the mountain over here? No, it becomes sky. You can't see forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So do you think so the Earth is it like a disc and it goes infinitum? Does it go
No,
on?
it's not like a disc.
It hits the ice wall.
Can you show him the map? Can you show him the map from? I think it was Hawaii, real quick, just to give him an understanding.
Yeah.
Red Shovel, £2 super chat. Packing for New York City. Will insist Delta flies straight. Thank you.
Yeah. Ask the pilot if he knows he's down.
Talk to the pilot. Interview the pilot, please, Red.
Yeah. So I'm going to answer that in a second. So this was found in a Buddhist temple, 10 centuries old. It was published in 1907 in a Hawaiian newspaper showing all of these continents out here. What's up with that, man? Yeah.
The official.
So they were teaching flat Earth into the 1940s and 50s in public school here in America, and then it was all changed, and they just
stopped. Is it?
There's still some. Well, it's because it's all about control. It's absolutely all about control. Mm-hmm. So you were talking about flight routes, right? So going from California to
he's flying from Northern Ireland to New York.
So Northern Ireland, somewhere over here to New York. So it's just this short distance here. And let's say it takes the same amount of time as going from Santiago to Australia, which is, let's just call it twice as far. You with me? Mm-hmm. So,
how long is your flight, Red? Let us know in the chat, please.
Probably like 6-7 hours, right?
Yeah. So I don't hold on a second.
Because they have to fly the official using the curvature, but if they were just flying,
no, there is no curvature. Stop it.
No, but they have to fly.
So do you know who handles all
7 hours? That's a joke.
Do you know who handles all of the international flight routes? Who's in charge of them?
The FAA, or is
Nope.
there an international body?
NASA.
NASA.
Really?
Yes.
Not a space agency.
Not a space agency. So I'm looking for.
And it's and what about the other countries? They're in on it.
Oh, there's only like 4 major airlines. They're all owned by 4 companies, and the engines on the airplanes. That's a whole other story. I don't know if you're going down the no fuel rabbit hole.
And why is the other countries
fuel is
going
crazy?
Is this to like use more fuel? Is this
No? There used to be airships the size of cruise ships that hold thousands of people, that had theaters and restaurants on them, that flew all around the world. But they demonized them with the Hindenburg. That would be like one 747 crashing today, and they're like, all right, no more airplane rides ever. Right? It's they don't want us having free, free being able to travel.
Of course.
They took down on my app. I had a thing that showed the wind speeds on the flat Earth, and there's here's I found an image. Here is these pink winds are like 350 mile an hour winds. So going from here to here on an airplane, the Boeing Dreamliner 777, that they admit it goes 650 miles an hour at a 350 mile an hour tailwind. Now it's going 1,000 miles an hour ground speed versus the one in here that's going 500 miles an hour. It's going to fly twice as far in the same amount of time, period.
So there's like these winds.
There's winds. It's called trade winds. And it's called magnetohydrodynamics, right? We're in this toroid, and there's counter rotating winds at different altitudes, and the same thing in the oceans. We have these different rotating winds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, before we go off because we touched on NASA, I don't have any questions about this. This is
let me just show you this since I mentioned this. So we have the air speeds and we have water. So if we look at, where is it? Come on. So we have these different currents and stuff. We got a magnet, and we'll put a little thing over it and put some water in it and put some electrodes in it. So we got a positive and a negative to create our toroidal field. Throw some pepper in here, and what do we see? We see counter-rotating currents.
Holy shit.
Yeah. You didn't do that in 8th grade, Timmy?
No.
Yeah, air currents, water currents. Currents only go the tides only go through salt water because of the
Chelsea,
current.
£2 super chat. We need more episodes like this. Well, you guys better super chat, otherwise I'm never doing it again.
Damn. All right, Dave, real quick, because
right.
This is a watch channel. I noticed you have a watch on. Is it an Apple Watch?
Yeah, let's take a look at your watch.
Yeah.
Take a look there. Let's see. What do we got? Is that an Apple Watch?
It's an Apple Watch, but I've got the flat Earth on here.
Oh, you got is that your app that you got on it?
It's not the app. The Apple doesn't allow you to put apps on there, but it's just an image.
Dave to a Rolex, right?
So here's the thing. Let me ask you a question.
He needs a Rolex.
By the way,
What's
Dave,
the most accurate clock in the world?
Before that, let me just show you something, because I think there's other brands. There's brands, big, prestigious brands in the watch world that I think subtly believe in your theory. This over here is a Patek Philippe World Time. And if you look at the dial, what do we got? We've got the flat Earth.
Nice.
You see that?
There's an anti-cathera mechanism watch.
No,
right?
There's not.
There is. It's like $250,000.
Well, I wanted you to go over the pro. Actually, I've never heard that. The pro clock, please. Before you go. Yeah, we have to. Just because it's a watch channel, and I feel like people would resonate with that. That's crazy. I'd never seen that before. That experiment there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
See, we got mentioned with Flat Earth because I was on an episode. Again, with the compass, and a military guy came in here. What's his name, Tim?
Sergeant.
Sergeant. And he knew what I was saying, but he didn't want to say it. And that's what sparked a lot of controversy. Here we go. Tim, pay attention to this.
This is the oldest working clock, and it doesn't use electricity. It's like really weird. In Prague, and it shows the 26,000 year cycle. Look at this map in
So
here.
how old is that? How old is that clock?
This I don't even know.
1400s.
That's what they say.
Pre-government.
I think that's also a lie, right?
Yes.
Because all of our history is a lie.
I think
right?
the official thing is 14 something.
So in Prague, if you want to change your fence post, you have to go through like 12 architecture review committees because it's a very historic city, right? So you got the oldest clock in the world with this interesting map below it.
I will be there. I'll go and interview.
Yeah. But check this out. Just a year or so ago, they changed the clock to that.
Oh, no way.
They changed it without any fanfare, without telling anybody, right? And so this is the older picture, but the clock
globalist got to it.
Yeah.
This is also an astronom. It's based on the sky, which ties into the moon map, which I've sent to Tim before. I don't know. Yeah, there you go.
The moon map is absolutely something that needs to be researched deeper. It's incredible. I was looking at the moon last night, and I could see all of this.
Basically, just so people don't know, there's people that have a theory that the moon is a reflection of the land that we see. So zoom in a little, Dave.
Yeah. So instead of saying reflection, I like to say it's a map. I don't know if reflection is the right word. It might be something that's transmitting, the energy here because this is me. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I think the sun and the moon is responsible for delivering and removing souls from this realm that we're in.
I'm with you on that.
It would make sense that it has a map. You take it, you invert it, and then it literally has a super accurate map. I heard you saying, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying it also, can you pull that up? If you look at that, it's exactly what that oldest world clock is in the world. It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
The Earth's continents are reflected in the moon.
Correct.
Don't say reflected.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's a map. It's like our DNA is the same as monkeys up to 96%. It's not a reflection. It's just a map. It's just the same.
There's a theory that the moon was an asteroid that hit the Earth, and maybe that's the imprint.
Cool story, bro.
I don't know. I heard it somewhere. So I'm thinking if you take two balls and you hit them together, right, they will leave an imprint on each other that's like a mirror.
So listen, Tim, I want you to really absorb this stuff. I want you to go to my website, flatearthdave.com, scroll down to where it says Crash Course. And there's a playlist there of videos that Google's hiding from you. You'll never find them on your own. And watch the first 3 or 4 or 5 or all of them. Scroll down. Right there. Stop. You went past it. Oh. Keep going. Back up. Right there.
Crash Course right here.
The Crash Course. Yeah. And watch those. No, just click it and it's a YouTube playlist. It's easy.
Ah, I see it. Wow.
Super easy.
It's
right?
shadow band on
yes.
YouTube.
Yeah. So you'll never find them. And if you get through the first 5, you'll know that the Earth is not a globe.
And fun fact.
Can I put the link?
Once you watch these
playlist in the chat, is that okay?
You can do it, absolutely. It's on my website. It's flatearthdave.com.
But the funny thing is,
how much is your app?
$3.
Is it $3 for a year or $3 for a month?
No, it's there's $3 one-time charge. You get 95% of what's on the app. But then there's some, if you want to use the
friend finder.
No, talking too much. If you want to use the messaging, if you want to create a profile, if you want to use some of the search features, you have to subscribe, and that's $11 a year. All right, $11 a year. It's like buying a margarita and not tipping the bartender.
Well, no, margaritas in New York, you know New York City prices. That's like $24, so it's half the price of a margarita.
Right. So it's half the price of a New York City margarita, and you tip the bartender.
So, but also, Dave,
margaritas are like $24.
You can watch every one of these videos on this list and go back. I don't know. Fast forward 2 months from now. Type in flat Earth, and in your history,
and they're gone.
They won't be there, and then they'll be like Professor Dave.
Yeah, there'll be anti-flat Earth videos. Let me point out, that should tell you something. The other thing is, in your comments, flat earthers are going to come and leave comments. Hey, did you see this and that? They're going to mention good things. But then the anti-flat earthers, these guys that follow me around like little sad ducklings, they'll stay in your chat for as long as people are giving it views, commenting on everyone's comment. They'll only say insults and stuff. They'll never offer glow proof. And if you look at their channel, they're empty channels. Look at the pro comments, and they're real people, real channels. But then you have these trolls that will just stay there and try to just.
Oh, there's a lot of those in here, bro.
It's incredible.
We've got same type of trolls.
We want
in our
everyone
West
in
community as well.
We want everyone in the chat to like and subscribe and add the app for Flat Earth Dave, if you could.
It's only for Apple and Android right now. I'm
fine.
coming out with a web version that'll work on computers and Google's phones.
We've got 91 people in the chat, so I expect 80 of them to have the app by tomorrow. Okay?
Nice.
It's
nice.
$3. It's $3. Okay.
And use referral code FJ3.
And share with your friends. Check it out.
It's the most education you'll have for the whole year.
There's the old world section. The old world section is amazing. You guys watch My Lunch Break?
Yeah, they don't know that.
Dude, all of our history is a lie. That section will blow your mind. You learn about the orphan trains. There's all sorts of stuff on here.
Hey, Dave, real quick, since you have this on your thing, can you just explain and show them the zodiac on there as well, real quick?
Yeah. So the sun goes around. It migrates in between the Tropic of Cancer, which is this inner yellow line, and then out in December, it's out here on the Tropic of Capricorn. So Australia has their summer when it's closer to them, and it's farther from us. Right now, it's migrating in. It'll be over the equator this month. And then it'll come in and we'll have our northern summer because the sun will be close. So the sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The sun will lap the moon once every 28 days. So you'll see that it'll start catching up to the moon. And the moon will be waning as it catches up. So the moon keeps track of the weeks and the months. Let me stop that. And then if I turn on the zodiac, the stars are circling slightly faster than the sun. So in 365 times around, the stars will lap the sun. So the sun will drift back into each zodiac for about a month. And then the stars will reset, and that marks the years. The stars keep track of the seasons and the years. The sun keeps track of the hours and the days, and the moon keeps track of the moons, the weeks and the months.
So using your model, you can predict stuff like lunar eclipses, constellations at given latitude, longitude, predict sunrises times across different cities. Is that possible?
There's a thing called the Antikythera mechanism, which was discovered off of Greece. And it was a 2,000 year old computer. And they, through CAT scans and all sorts of stuff, they recreated it. And it, using a flat earth model, predicts all the eclipses, positions of the luminaries, everything.
All mechanically.
Yep, mechanically. Then there's the thing called the astrolabe, which you may or may not have seen in school, but it charts out the northern stars and the southern stars perfectly using a flat earth.
By the way, I think we got our first convertee. The Franchise Club is starting to believe. Thank you.
It's not about believing. It's about knowing. You believe the earth is a globe because you were told lies. I'm telling you, look here, don't believe anything I say, and verify everything. Now, if you really want to verify it, the crash course, if you don't want to get the app, that's fine. Just go to the crash course, watch those videos. Turn off Netflix. It's way better than Netflix. But
there's nothing on Netflix anyways.
In the app, if you hit the web button, which is more resources, and you scroll down, we got the experiments section. Watch them. We did all the experiments for you and documented them. If you believe we went to the moon, watch this. Moon landing nonsense. If you think rockets are real, watch this. Balloon rockets. There's
I really wish we got into the the mic going through the fingers and the beaming
Oh, we can do a little bit of that.
All right, because that really, because you have to understand, Dave. When I came in here, again, this is a watch channel. They love the Omega speed timer. It's the watch that went to the moon. They always bring it up.
Oh man,
I know. I can't. I come in here and I'm like, stop, just stop, please, just stop, bro. So
The watch that was supposedly on the moon won for Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, and they had Tang on the moon too. How did they mix that powder on the moon and
how did they put air in a tire?
Yeah.
Well, we got 10 minutes.
All right, so real quick.
Yeah.
Time comes from the luminaries, right? From the movement of the stars, right? So I'm looking for a different video.
I don't know if it comes from the movement.
It does. The sun, the movement of our solar system is what time is. There would be no time without the movements of everything in the sky. So this is a thing called the three-body problem. They got three equal masses using their gravity, and in no time at all, they start perturbing each other's orbits, and they go into what's called chaos mode, and no computer can figure out what they're going to do next. But our solar system keeps perfect time forever, right? All Swiss watches, all the finest watches in the world are set to the sky clock. How is that possible when we can't even resolve gravity for three bodies? It's crazy. But people just want to believe, well, it's different. It's been going for so long. It sorted itself out. And, we're just only here for a cosmic second. You could just make up stories all you want, but you're not insignificant. You're at the center of creation. And, you are way more powerful than they want you to believe.
I heard that. Yes.
People say, why the lie?
What do you think? Time is time a human construct? That's a really kind of a big question in the wristwatch space.
Time is based on the movements of the luminaries in the sky, but according to science, which is pseudoscience, they're all controlled by gravity. Right? The three-body problem just showed you that it's impossible. It's an impossible thing that you just have to believe, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely stupid. Right?
You could say it's retardation.
It's retardation.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That it can't be predicted, or what?
No, like the gravitational orbits. Like when we just had a planetary alignment. Well, wait a minute. The sun's gravity is holding on to Pluto and every planet in between. But it doesn't pull on our moon when its moon's coming around towards the sun, and it doesn't slow the moon down when it's going away. And when all these planets lined up, all of their gravities are interacting with each other, but everything still works perfectly like a clock. No, the sky is the most complex and accurate device, if you will, that is created, right? We are incredible, powerful, connected beings, right? That we can do things that you can't even imagine, but they've taken all of that away from us, and they've put us on the ball, which literally disconnects us, keeps us in fear, living in lack. We're afraid we're overpopulated. Bull crap. There's less than
separates us from God. It's the most important part.
Separates us from God, right? And that's actually an important one, because there's a Romans 1 says, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. So basically what that is saying, once you see my creation, the earth, you can no longer deny my existence. Now, I was, afraid to say it, an atheist before I found out about flat earth. But then when I discovered where earth is intelligently designed, I had no choice but to understand that there's a creator. And the governments don't want that. They want to be above you. They want to step on you. They want to replace God. They want to be God. And they're doing everything they can to destroy this creation and control you. And the only way they can do it, the good news is, if you give them permission. And the problem is, people, when they're afraid, they will just give up all of their God-given rights and say, protect me, Big Daddy government, protect me.
That's Romans 1:20 if people, because it's cut
Yeah.
off. Just so
Oh,
you
it
know.
is. Why is that? What is that light? There we go. There we go. A little better.
Nice.
James William and Campbell, thank you so much for your super chat. Hey, Tim, very cool episode with Dave. Just a heads up. I fixed the microphone. That's right. There was an issue. I wish I was told about this sooner.
Me too.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Oh, I thought you meant he wished you were told about flat Earth. I wish I had known about it when I was a kid.
No,
Dude, I did. 1994. I
so-
never believed it once.
So
That's the
flat
Good
crazy
for you,
part.
man. Good for you.
Yeah.
Dave, I don't want to dox you, but what county in Connecticut are you? Fairfield, Linfield?
Fairfield. Fairfield.
Okay, got it. Okay.
He's in Mexico.
Yeah, he's in Mexico.
No, he is.
So you believe this has bigger implications. The flat Earth. This is not just like there is a further goal, right? What would you say changes in somebody's life if they accept the flat Earth? Does it
take
connect
your
to
power
religious
back?
religion?
Well, I'm not a fan of organized religion. I think all religions are to control you. Back in the 1700s, all of the big religious leaders got together, and basically the Bible and other religious books said that the God is within every person. And they said, well, we need to take that out of the Bible and then say that they need to come through a middleman. Christianity, Buddhism, Muslims, whatever. They want the middleman, right? You don't need a middleman. We are God's creation. Let me ask you a question. Where does the wood on a giant tree manifest itself from? Where does it come from? You put a seed in the ground. Where does the wood, the thousands of pounds of wood, come from?
Well, I'm guessing it's from nutrients that it pulls out of the earth, the dead animals.
Yeah. So that's what people would say. So a guy did an experiment. He got 500 pounds of soil, put it in a big pot, put a tree seed in it, watered it for 5 years, grew a big tree, and then when he pulled the tree out and weighed the soil, it was all there down to just a couple of ounces. So where did the wood come from? Next excuse is the water.
You mean okay? Well, water. So he. What do you mean? He quantified. He measured how much.
He measured how much soil,
was.
and the soil was still all there, but there was hundreds of pounds of wood.
But
where did the wood come from?
How I would need to see this experiment. You're saying that it created matter. Wouldn't we just?
Well,
if we could just create infinite amount of wood on Earth.
Well, I'm just saying it didn't come from the soil, and that's proven. So the next logical thing is it came from water because it drank copious amounts of water, but water is made from hydrogen and oxygen. What is carbon? Where did it get the carbon from? And the only answer is it got it from the air. Right? Because you can learn about the chemical process where the tree will take the carbon out of the air, break it down, and it strings it together and makes cellulose, and it's this whole thing where it's all coming from the air, and then the tree releases the oxygen,
right?
Right,
it takes carbon dioxide,
and so the tree and every living thing, its mass came from something that's invisible, the air.
Well, it's not invisible. It's not invisible because it is visible. Remember with the pictures that you showed when
over distance it becomes
out.
opaque, but you really can't see it. Right.
Yeah.
So
but it is there. We know that it's there. Yeah.
Water is also something the water wasn't created in the Bible. If you want to follow the Bible, it never talks about the water being created. The water was just there. Page 1 says God separated the waters from the water. Right. So the question is, if you compare the water to God, let's take a look here real quick. Water is all around us. Water is above and below us. Sounds a little bit like God, right? Mm-hmm. Water falls from the sky or it dies, the death of water as it leaves the clouds, right? Then it ascends back up, right? It's kind of like, talking about, it sounds a little bit like God. You can't be alive without water, right? Water gives life. Everything depends on it. Interesting. Water holds information. right? A drop of water holds terabytes of information.
I've done this experiment with rice and water.
We say that God, the water reflects your image. You look down at a puddle of water, and there you are, right? God made us in His image, so we can see ourselves in the water, right?
Aren't we like 90% water or something like that?
That's what they say. The people throw coins in wishing wells and then make a wish. They're praying to the water. So, and then the air, I think that the water is the physical manifestation of God in a way, and the air is the non-physical spirit of God, because we breathe in our spirit. We breathe in, if you hold someone, suffocating you, the first thing you lose is consciousness. Mm-hmm. Right? So the air is our consciousness. I think it's all tied together. They're lying to us about air, water, history, where we live, who we are, everything. It's all lies.
And so you think understanding these theories can make us understand life better, or know more truth about life? But do you worry a little bit that this belief can reduce our trust into institutions that sometimes deserve scrutiny, but
how
also
do you reduce trust? How do you reduce trust in institutions that you have no trust in?
For example, there's some stuff that we do have that we rely on, like weather forecasting, navigation. I suppose you're using GPS in your car. I mean, that isn't that like.
That's ground-based technology, and by the way, all of the weather.
Isn't government involved in that?
Well, there is, but there are some useful things. So twice a day, every 12 hours, without fail, 970 some odd locations across the earth all release a weather balloon at the exact same moment that measures altitude and humidity and temperature.
But that's government,
and wind speed. Well, it's an organization, and then they use that to figure out where all the trade winds are. They use that to predict weather and all sorts of stuff. But these things are being found, and when we find them, if you go into the satellite section, we don't have time right now. On the FAQ page, there's satellites right here. We found one of them, and one of our guys who was like a computer genius, he got into their website and shows that they're all being tracked by ground positions, but they're telling us that they're satellites in space.
Okay.
Everything globe has been debunked. Everything. You just have to take. The problem is we don't need to do any more experiments. We don't need to do anything. We just need to spread awareness. It's
so you're
all
saying
been
there's
done
no
already.
Satellites?
There are no satellites. No.
And the space
as described. As described.
Okay. And so
we keep going to ISS and we don't get there. Let's do the ISS for a second.
Final question for the day is please explain how GPS navigation works. How does the screen rotate on your iPhone works when you change it from portrait to landscape?
What does that have to do with GPS? That's just an accelerometer telling you which way is down. And the GPS is the ground positioning system. GPS doesn't work in remote areas. It doesn't work between California and Hawaii. It doesn't work over the Amazon. It only works where there's towers that can receive. Now, there's a Starlink service. People have gotten internet that live in remote areas that never had internet before, right? But the Starlink equipment is not floating in space. It's on airplanes, because when the last airplane leaves these remote areas, they lose their service every single time. How about that? Check out the satellite section. There's tons of stuff on there. Starlink, when we see that line of satellites that's going across the sky, those are just drones probably to trick you. There's no Starlink satellites flying all through the sky. This happened on Joe Rogan the other day. Joe Rogan actually had a guy on he said, I'm not flat earth globe, but I'll just point out something. And he brought up a bunch of flat earth stuff. And Joe's trying to defend it because he's a paid agent. And he goes, what about the ISS? Bring up the ISS feed, he tells his guys. And they bring it up, and it had a seam in it. It had a seam, basically showing you that this is complete and total bullshit, right? It had a seam like this. that they're literally just wrapping
Why does it have
images
a
around the
sneeze?
sphere. Yeah,
Is
right.
it like they're stitching
Dave,
multiple
can you pull up the
cameras?
pictures of the Earth real quick, like the 12 different photos?
Yeah,
that you've
yeah,
done?
yeah. Let me just. We're on the ISS. Just let me just pull
Okay,
up.
go ahead.
And then I got to roll. There's so many. There's so many things. Here, this one, the floppy door, right? They're going into the space station. You know, there's differential in pressure. Look at this door. It's like a tortilla. All right. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. That's the door. That's the door. No, it's just a sunshade. Well, where's the door? Right?
I can't, bro.
Yeah. Here's one. They were excited. They had some fresh fruit come up, and they had a lemon, and they were playing with it, and the lemon bounced out of the frame, and he went to grab it. Look at that hand. This is before we knew what AI was and augmented reality.
That has too many fingers. That looks.
Look at it. Watch it go through the hand. Look, first that hand looks like a claw. Look at that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
What
that's on the
was
ISS.
that?
That's on the ISS. Right? So that's all you need to know that NASA's a fraud. That's all you need. Right? Don Pettit. You ever hear Don Pettit talk, this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
He's like, we lost the technology, but it's an important process to build it back again. He was showing how he could drink his coffee out of a cup. He likes drinking it out of a cup. Mm-hmm. And look, the coffee jumped out. It didn't sync up. The brown came out of sync. Just showing you that it's video manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that there's not one video of an astronaut doing a 360-degree pan in the history of it?
Not one ever. Right? And they're using green screens and all sorts of stuff. Like this guy, you know, he's talking. And look at him. They always have these big belts on too. Are their pants going to fall down? Right?
Uh-huh.
But watch under his
why
arm.
do they need the belt? Yeah.
Yeah, because look, green screen right there.
Oh,
there it
wow.
is. Green screen. Right? And it's incredible. It's just incredible. There's so many things.
Wow. One final question before you leave.
And then I got to roll.
And basically, it's simple. If you could name a single observation that, if verified, would falsify a flat Earth to you, if there is anything that you think.
Yeah, proven Earth curvature. Proven Earth curvature. Proven axial rotation. That'll do it.
Proven. How would that be proven? What if they took you into a rocket?
Space.
Into
rockets
space?
Aren't real. Like, what if I took you to Narnia? Would that prove Narnia?
Well, presumably, if they could build a rocket,
you're a fucking legend, Dave.
And take you out of space into an outer space. Far would they have to be far enough, and would they have to rotate? Like, how would?
So here's the thing: if the Earth is flat, let's say we live on this flat Earth, right? As if you can get up high enough, the lit part of the Earth, it would just shrink down into a ball, and it would look like a ball to a glober, but a flat Earth would go, no, that's just a flat Earth, right? And so you would
have to go around, circumnavigate it, right?
I would like to see somebody fly from Santiago across Antarctica and then pop up in New Zealand or New Zealand or Australia.
Oh, I see.
That would be an interesting one. But here's the thing. Yeah. I don't care. Airplanes don't nose down. The Earth is not moving. All right? Show me Earth curvature. Show me high pressure next to no pressure without a container. Right?
Yeah, bring the propane without the tanks.
Yeah, we live on a lumpy rock, surrounded by water, surrounded by high pressure air, adjacent to a void of no pressure. The air would go whoosh, instantly, and we'd all be dead. That's what air does.
Well, it's held in by gravity.
No, it's not.
That's the theory, at least, is that's why a body of water would have a curvature, because it's not. They're saying it's not flat because it could. Let me just
quickly debunk that. Look, gas pressure, pressurized gas, a valve, and a vacuum. Okay. Is gravity off in this room? No, gravity's on. I'm going to open up this valve, and whoosh, up and away It goes. Now, if I made this ball 100 times bigger, it would go. I just flipped it over here. It would go. All of the gas would go there. It would leave 1/100th.
Well, but it stabilized the pressure, so now the pressure in both.
Yeah, but now it's even.
equal.
But it went up and away. Gravity didn't hold it down, right? And so if I made this infinitely large, it's going to just go, right? Here's a football in a pressure. So we take that in a vacuum chamber and it explodes, right? Gas wants to equalize, right? It wants to equalize.
Yeah. That's why you can't light a firecracker in a vacuum chamber. So that always got me like, where is a rocket ship pushing off of?
This is the pale blue dot from the supposedly the Voyager, 1 billion miles away. First, where's the sun? All right. Well, wow. So we can see the Earth. Well, this is surrounded by gas, and all of this is a vacuum. Whoosh, we're dead.
Well,
it's a childhood belief to believe in a globe.
I don't think the outer space is vacuum in the same sense.
It's no
as,
pressure. It's a Tor 17.
It's
the differential is Tor 17. We can't make a Tor 10 vacuum here on Earth. Actually Tor 10 is the strongest that they can get, and the walls are 10 feet thick of concrete and steel. Otherwise, it would collapse in on itself. But in space, we can have a tin can, people playing in gorilla suits, running around, tangled in their wires, doing all sorts of stuff, right?
Making phone calls to the
Don Pettit, right? Don Pettit. You've heard him talk, right? He sounds retarded, correct?
Well, the way it's explained, right, is that
wait, hold on. I want to make a point. Don
Yeah.
Pettit. He sounds retarded, doesn't he? A little bit. He sounds like not the brightest bulb in the box. Have you heard him talk? Does anyone look up Don Pettit? Listen to him talk. When they announced they're looking for one astronaut for the ISS, they got 40,000 applicants, and they chose Don Pettit.
I don't know who that is.
Just look him up, Don Pettit, and he literally talks like he's retarded, because he is.
Pettit.
Astronaut Don Pettit.
He's the one that famously said that they lost the technology. You never seen the video?
We lost the technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. And if we had a leak, well, we have a leak. It's just so crazy. Here, I got to go. FlatEarthDave.com. Crash course, watch those videos, and you too can be rejected by your family and friends and be a flat earther.
Thank you, Dave, bro. I appreciate you coming on, bro.
All right.
Absolutely.
Tim,
Thank you so much.
Don't believe anything I said.
Website.
Verify everything. We have FlatEarthDave.com. Check out those videos. Make up your own mind. Don't believe anything I said. All right. And buy the app, of course. And subscribe. The $11
It's only $3 a month.
And you could it asks you if you have a referral code. What? No, it's $3 one-time charge.
Oh, wow. That's
it's a one-time charge. But what's your referral code?
Mine.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Oh, let's use your no fault. Let's use your referral code.
FJ3.
FJ3.
Yeah. So in the friend finder, if you click this middle button right here, you'll have a referral code, just a random number. Put in anything you want, and then time when you're telling someone about Flat Earth, they download the app. Use your referral code. You get 10 points, 11 points. You can trade it in for a free year. Right.
Wow.
You can also earn cryptocurrency if you just put a wallet address in there, and you earn Dome coins. I think it's 2 million coins per referral.
That the Earth is
you win 3 bitcoins.
3 bitcoins. That was $300,000 not that long ago.
Well, it'll be worth more eventually.
It'll be 3 million from what I understood. There's some stuff going on. Dave, thank you so much for having me.
Don't listen to the trolls. Don't even listen to me. Make up your own mind. God gave you common sense. All right. See you guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
See ya.
Take care.
He's a legend, bro.
Incredible. Wow.
Yeah,
I love, dude, I love the business savviness of this guy. Just though he built an app, website, so much material.
He's a legend, bro. Dude. The thing is, bro, this is for entertainment. This is for fun. Yeah. You guys don't need to get worked up in the chat over it. Who cares?
Timmy, this is
who cares? It's not something you need to fight over. It was fun. It was entertaining. The guy's a legend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Where is he? Is he really in Connecticut, or is he in some place in Mexico? Is he in Connecticut or Mexico? I'm just curious. No
Is he
comment.
there? Hello?
Oh, did we hear you?
No, he's gone.
No,
Tim G's gone?
No,
no.
Tim G's here.
Yeah. They said, what's your thoughts? I don't know.
What are my thoughts?
No, Tim G, I was asking.
Oh, Tim G.
You know what? I
not there.
am a, I made.
What are your thoughts, Timmy?
Go ahead.
No, you go. You go first.
I don't hear Tim.
Oh, reboot.
Reboot. Sorry. My quick thoughts. It's like talking to a liberal. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've got to say on that. All right. I'm done. All right.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I was impressed by the how prolific he is. Right? He's got an incredible library of material.
I'm back.
The website, the app. This guy's got true business mind.
I'm impressed.
I'm inspired. I wish I built something like this. Is what I need to do in the watch space. He's built a global community in the flat Earth. Did you see it? The global community that he's built.
Yeah, he's light years away, far away from where you are. Okay, he's light years in business.
He's ahead, like light years ahead of me.
Yeah, ahead of you. Yes, you should be.
He's ahead of the curve.
Well, that's why I thought I'd bring him on, because he's got a large audience. It doesn't matter what anyone believes in the chat. Again, you guys don't need to freak out.
Make up your own mind.
Make up your own mind. It's for entertainment. It's for fun, man. It's for fun. It's not to
make up your own mind.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Half the community.
You didn't even scratch the surface, because there's so much information to be said and be shown. Like, I've watched that guy for years, bro. There's so many different things that you can see that you're just like, what? I'm sure most of you learned something you didn't know.
No, Double D. I'm inspired by the business savviness. It doesn't have to be in the flat. He's built this community in the flat Earth, but I would love to do something similar. I'm just talking about from material, the library, the back library of all kinds of educational material. I need to do something like this in the watch space and create
that'd be pretty
library.
sick.
An app. I should have my own app. Like, how come I don't have an app? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need an app. No, folks. How much of a following does he have? Does he have a lot?
Very, 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 very big, bro.
Okay.
He's hit again. So every video that he has on his app.
Yeah.
Hold on, Timmy. Yeah. Those videos you can type them in word for word, like some of the titles on YouTube, and they will not come up.
Right.
That's how much they shadow ban this guy.
He's extremely shadow banned. It's kind of like I'm shadow banned a little bit myself because of I tell people facts about watches as well.
Well, put it this way. On his app, he has over 200,000 people just in the friend finder. Those are the people that are the little blue dots. You know what I mean? When it showed you how many people were using it. So that's a lot of people, man.
That's a lot of people. I don't have a percent of that in the watch space.
I really would love you to go do a dive on that clock, the Prague clock.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. Go ahead.
We have to do a follow-up episode with Dave at some point in the future. Obviously, if the watch community enjoyed it, guys, support the show, become members, upvote, check out Dave, and if you ask me enough times, I'll get him on at his next convenient time. Okay, sounds fair?
Sounds fair.
Okay.
Introducing the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App Meetup Maker. Never miss another meetup again. You can look up meetups in several different ways. Sort by date. You can search by location or within a 500-mile radius. To create and list your own meetup, enter the date. Give the meetup a name, a location name, add a photo, enter your contact information, create a group chat name, and then fill out the description with all of the details. Select your background color and hit the Save button to add your meetup to the list. Once the meetup is saved, it will ask you to create a group chat for all of the meetups so people can join the group and start a local chat community. Select Public Group, add your welcome message, and your meetup is now available for all to see. To make sure you don't miss another meetup in your area, you can select your desired radius and whether you want push notifications or email or both. Whenever a new meetup is added in your selected radius, you get notified. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock Meetup Maker, bringing people together all around the plane.